Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on James Harden's 9th shoe with Adidas, the Adidas Harden Volume 9. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below, and please hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this one. Also, if you did want to buy a pair of these, I'll leave an affiliate link down in the description box below. If you do purchase through that link, it does help me out directly, which is very much appreciated. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Adidas Harden Volume 9 features like a very similar traction pattern to the Harden Volume 8, except in this middle part, in the Harden Volume 8, it does feature like this H traction pattern, whereas in here, it's pretty much radial throughout. And how does this traction perform? Honestly, I'm gonna say that this traction is not as good as a Harden Volume 8. If you are playing on your clean courts, you're gonna have absolutely no problems. You're gonna have a very, very hard bite. On clean courts, there's just no issue. Like, you're gonna have a very, very good time. The problem does come when, you're playing on dust. I do think that this particular colorway, at least, it does pick up like quite a bit of dust. So if you are playing on your dusty courts, you are gonna have to wipe. And even when you do wipe, you might have to consistently wipe in order to maintain any sort of traction, because you will be sliding around a bit. Yeah, I mean, compared to the Harden Volume 8, the traction just does not perform as well on the dust. This thing just collects way more dust in my opinion, and it just tends to slide more too. So that's kind of a bummer, even though it is such a similar traction pattern. This one definitely, it's just not as good. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure if they changed like the rubber compound or something like that, but I will say, on dust, this thing does tend to slide out. So just be careful. On your clean courts, you're not going to have any problems. But for those of us that are playing on like your average gym courts, like your 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness, expect to slide around. And if you had a pair of the Harden Volume 8s, expect to not have as good traction. So moving on to the cushion, I'm pretty sure that the Harden Volume 9 features the exact same cushion setup as the Harden Volume 8. And I'm not sure what type of boost specifically it's using. I've honestly heard regular boost, light boost, jet boost. It's some sort of boost that's in here in combination with Light Strike. The same stuff that's in the Harden Volume 8, and it's nice. Like, it feels good. You get impact protection in the heel, you get a nice little bounce out of the heel. As you move towards the forefoot, you definitely feel more low to the ground, more responsive, but you get like a little bit of bounce and impact protection as well. And yeah, I mean, the cushion setup is good. Like, if you have the Harden Volume 8 or have tried the Harden Volume 8, expect pretty much the exact same thing in here. The only thing I will say is a little bit different though, is there is like, this huge rubber piece on the heel. So like you will have like an initial clunk when you're taking your strides. So that's really the only difference. Once you get through that initial clunk, you do feel the boost and it feels good. But yeah, I mean, just it's a little bit clunkier than the Harden Volume 8. At least in the Harden Volume 8, you have like a little bit more compression, but in here, definitely not as nice, just in that heel area, but everywhere else is pretty much exactly the same. So yeah, I mean, the boost Light Strike combination in here is very good. I think it's a great blend of impact protection, responsiveness, while also feeling, low to the ground and also having the bounce. Yeah, I mean, the boost and Light Strike combo in here feels good. And I really, really enjoyed the cushion setup. So moving on to the materials, this is obviously where the Harden Volume 9 changes from the Harden Volume 8 pretty drastically. On here, you do have like this synthetic leather, or just like full synthetic material. And as you can see, like, it does crease. Like, if you play in these like super hard, expect to see like a lot of creases on the shoe. Like, even in the heel area, you can kind of see the creases just where, you're kind of compressing the cushion. So the materials are kind of like overlapping on each other. And yeah, I mean, the materials in terms of, the quality, I mean, it just feels like a synthetic material, and it feels very whatever in my opinion. But in terms of the performance, it does get the job done very, very well. Personally, I think that this material offers a little bit more support than the materials in the Harden Volume 8, which I will get to later. Also, I do think that this overall design that they have using these materials looks a little bit cooler as well. But, in terms of the quality, yeah, I do think it could be a little bit nicer for $160. Moving towards the where the tongue would be. You still have like that same inner booty that's like on the Harden Volume 8. It's just like this nice little textile material. It's a little bit stretchy on the top. You do have like these nice wide flat laces as well. If you do want to crank down the laces, you won't really feel the laces digging into your foot. Material usage on the shoe, I mean, in terms of the quality, I definitely think it could have been a lot better. But in terms of the performance, it does get the job done just fine. So moving on to the fit, the Harden Volume 9 fits pretty much exactly like the Harden Volume 8. And what you're going to go with is go true to size. For narrow footers, normal footers, and even slightly wide footers, I think going true to size is your best bet. I will say though that the fit in here, at least for me, it felt like these are definitely a little bit more narrow than the Harden Volume 8, and that could just be due to the material usage on here. It is more stiff material, and it does break in a little bit over time, but I still think overall it is a slightly more narrow fit than the Harden Volume 8. So I think if you do have wide feet, you might want to go up a half size. But because this is that one booty type fitting shoe, you might have some support issues. I'm not exactly sure. You might not. If you do have really wide feet and you do want to try these out, I would probably suggest you all go up a half size. But everyone else, I think going true to size is your best bet. The fit is good. You know, you don't really have any dead space up in the toe box area. It is very snug. Everywhere else is also very snug. Like I said, this is a one booty upper. So this type of shoe does have to fit very snug in order for it to, you know, make sure you are getting the most out of the shoe and making sure you aren't having like any support issues. But yeah, I mean, overall the fit is good. Just, you know, watch out if you do have wider feet, because this is slightly more narrow than the Harden Volume 8, but overall it's still a very nice and snug fitting shoe. So moving on to the support. You know, there are some trade-offs in the support in the shoe compared to the Harden Volume 8. Starting off with the heel, you do have a slight curvature in the heel area, but honestly, I feel like the heel lockdown in here was not as good in the Harden Volume 8. Like if you all compare these, right, I'm not sure if you all can see these at the same time, but the Harden Volume 8 is definitely more curved in the heel area. And honestly, I feel like, you know, it's just a little bit better in terms of heel lockdown in the Harden Volume 8. In the Harden Volume 9, I had some heel slippage. It wasn't a lot or anything. I wouldn't say it's minimal though. It's definitely a little bit more than minimal. Like I could definitely feel it when I'm like taking steps. I feel my heel slip up a little bit, and it was annoying. I never, you know, had my heel slip completely out or anything like that though. But it was always there in like the back of my mind, right? Like, oh, I hope my heel doesn't slip out and I hurt myself. So yeah, I mean, that's just something that I noticed that's different from the Harden Volume 8. I don't think the heel containment is as good. So that is one issue. However, moving on to the side-to-side movement on the footbed, you know, you're not gonna have any issues there. The materials do a great job of making sure your foot is nice and contained on that footbed. And when it comes to hard lateral movements, like this is a fairly wide base. I don't think you're gonna have any issues there as well. This is where I think the materials do a little bit better of a job than the Harden Volume 8. I think they are just much more supportive. Not to say that I had support issues with the Harden Volume 8, but it does feel more secure in the Harden Volume 9 due to the materials on this shoe. And obviously when it comes to torsional rigidity and stability, you're gonna be covered there. This is a very stiff shoe. You know, you do have this whole rubber piece, and you also do have a like a full shank in here. I think it's like a Y-shaped shank that pretty much mimics the pattern of like this orange rubber right here. And yeah, I mean, support for the most part was good besides like the very slight heel slippage. And I'm not sure if it's just a me issue. I only had the heel slippage in my right shoe. So who knows, like it could just be a me thing. But even besides that, like I would say that the support is still for the most part good. If you do have a pair of these, let me know if you're having that heel slippage issue in the comments down below. I'm very, very curious if it is just a me thing. But yeah, I mean, overall support is good. Just watch out for that slight heel slippage. So the Harden Volume 9 retails for $160. And for $160, like I'll say like it's a good shoe. I think for $160, it's really, really expensive. And then if you compare it to the Harden Volume 8, like honestly, I like the Harden Volume 8 better, like in terms of performance. I will say like, so I mean, if you take a look at these, right? Like, I'm not sure if you all can see these, but hopefully you can. I think in terms of aesthetics, I do think the Harden Volume 9 looks better. The Harden Volume 8 doesn't look bad or anything. I just personally like the look of this a little bit more. The only issue with the Harden Volume 9 though, at least in this colorway and probably the next few colorways, at least that are slated to release in the US, is the fact that they use this like metallic-y synthetic material. And if you play hard, and if you play a lot in this shoe, it's gonna have hella crease marks. And I'm not sure if there's a way to really get rid of it. Maybe if you do like the leather steamer trick, where you put like a damp towel and then you like iron over it on the material, it might get rid of the crease marks. I'm not sure. It works for leather shoes. I'm not sure about the synthetic material, but yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that the previous model, the Harden Volume 8, does perform a little bit better. I love the way this looks. I do wish that the material was a little bit different so it doesn't like crease a lot. And I don't know, this color is just not my favorite. Maybe they'll have another, colorway that doesn't use this material, like the overseas China exclusive, the purple snakeskin looking ones. I wish those released here, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, would I buy the Harden Volume 9? Honestly, I'd just get the Harden Volume 8. But I will say, if I didn't have access to the Harden Volume 8, like let's say they stopped making it and I had to, it was either these or nothing, I'd probably pick up a pair of these, as long as, your court conditions aren't dusty, because that is like the one issue with this shoe, is the fact that it just doesn't handle dust very well. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's a solid shoe. It's an expensive shoe, and I just like the Harden Volume 8 better. But if you did want to buy a pair of these, I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. If you are up in the air between the Harden Volume 8 and Harden Volume 9, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you right now, get the Harden Volume 8. I think it's overall much better. That's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below and smash that thumbs up button for me, as it really does help me out. Also, please leave a comment. Those also help me out a lot. Check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.